Military training in the jungles of Belize. This devastatingly harsh environment has tested the British Army's mettle for the last 16 years. It's not just jungle tactics they learn here, it's also about the sheer will to survive.
The jungle is a superb environment for infantry training because it is so difficult. And it's extremely difficult to navigate in the jungle. It's very difficult to look after yourself in the jungle. It's very difficult to find, water and to cook for yourself and so on. It's just an excellent, challenging environment for them.
But this is the last exercise being held here before the training facility draws down next year. These young officers are on the Platoon Commanders Course learning tactics. Fresh from Sandhurst, they've spent 6 weeks on Brecon and the last 3 weeks here in Belize. Many of them say it's the hardest training they've ever done. After more than 3 weeks in the field, these trainee platoon commanders are wet through and they're exhausted. But any of them will tell you this is fantastic training and this is an incredible place to do it.
This has helped me enormously. Simply the amount of assets and the amount of people you can get also working towards you and supporting you here means that the training is so realistic.
Brecon's hilly, wet and cold. This place is sort of much more hilly. Like Brecon on steroids is the cliche.
The training area includes not only primary jungle, but also vast, open, undulating terrain. On exercise, the bullets are live rounds, which adds to the realism.
It just gives the guys that little bit of edge about engaging and having to realise that left and right of them are actually soldiers, and if they switch off for one moment, it could obviously cause an accident.
20% of the young officers on this course will be in Afghanistan within the next few months, leading soldiers on operations. This has been their chance to work with soldiers for the first time, many of them fresh from theatre themselves.
With these guys, we've really got to know them, understand how soldiers work, what you need to do for them and what they can do for you, and also where the relationship lies between you and your soldiers.
It's quite funny because you never really see commanders in that much stress, but it's been good and hopefully all of them will pass and become good commanders.
The landscape is unfamiliar to the soldiers, but then that's the whole point of coming to Belize.
Just look around, it looks like a Vietnam film, doesn't it? It's pretty sweet, really. Awesome. The thing is, it's so challenging compared to what you've got in the UK, what I've experienced anyway. You've also got the heat that you have to contend with, so it's about managing your water. It's basically something very, very different.
Along with a fifth of the other young officers on this course, in just a few months' time, Lieutenant Westlake will be commanding troops for real on operations in Afghanistan.
This, I hope, has prepared me for that. I think certainly the heat that we've had to contend with here will set me up nicely. And to be honest, it's been hard graft for 1 month. It's been constant, and I think it's the first time I've experienced that. So, yeah, fingers crossed I'm prepared.
The jungle may not look a lot like Afghanistan, but the training team have conjured up a compound so the troops can practice live firing inside a building.
It's to replicate what they may have to do in a compound in Afghanistan. Tight corners, closed doors, breaking into the building, enemy at close quarter, i.e., 5 metres, having to engage and having to be fully aware of everyone is within that compound, because on operations there's no second chances.
On another part of the training area, a casualty is evacuated by helicopter, with live firing going on around. It's a situation the soldiers will face on operations, and it makes for a realistic battlefield simulation. Exhausted, the young officers make the final climb towards the end of their Platoon Commanders Course. The last BATSUB exercise is over. There's little doubt Belize and all it has to offer will be missed. Charlotte Cross, Forces News, Belize.